Well, hi there, everybody. This is David from My Metal Today, and I'm at the Sylvie in Madison, Wisconsin. We're here for Mad with Power Weekend, and I'm here with the band Queen of Dreams, who is not actually playing the festival this year, but they are from here in Madison, and they're very excited to also attend the fest. So I'll first give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm the guitar player, or one of the guitar players.
I'm Allie. I play keyboards.
Lindsay, vocals.
I'm Caleb. I'm the other guitar player.
Very cool. Well, thanks you all. I'm so excited to talk with you and meet with you today. So the way I like to start these is, tell me a little bit about how the band got started. Let's just start there.
Sure. It was our drummer, Dan, who's not here today, but he started the whole thing several years ago now. It must have been 2017 or so. He was in a more like traditional rock band, and he wanted to do stuff that was a little nerdier and faster and more power metal. And we've all accrued onto that mission.
Yeah, I joined in 2019, and I think he had been working on assembling for a little while before that. So quite some time. Yeah.
Because the first album came out in 2022, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
Does that sound right?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how about you guys? Like, how did you kind of come into the band?
Yeah, so Caleb joined the band before me. So Caleb and I are married.
Yes, that's true.
And Caleb was pretty excited to be part of a metal band after taking a break for a while. And they had a previous keyboardist who moved away. And there was kind of this, oh no, where are we going to find a keyboard player who likes this kind of music? And Caleb was like, I might know somebody. Came home, convinced me to audition, and the band accepted me, and so I got to join.
Awesome.
And that was really cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I'm the new guy in the band. I think it was 2023, 2024.
Yep.
They needed a second guitar player replacement, and I decided to audition. Caleb looked me up at work.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
Very cool.
I came down and auditioned, and they liked what they heard, and I joined up. Very excited to be part of a metal band after several years of not playing in a metal band. So.
And you're a fantastic addition.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
You're right.
we lucked
thank you
out.
very much.
Very cool. Very cool. So, I was kind of late to finding out about you all. I actually found out about you a little ways after Subnivium came out last year. And I don't remember how I stumbled upon it now, but I stumbled upon it and it was just like, I had a holy crap moment. Like, I love this album. And so then, of course, I went back and listened to the first one, Nascent Reality.
Nascent Realm.
Nascent Realm.
Yeah,
Look at me trying
pretty close.
Trying to slip off the cuff. And I'm like, obviously, I haven't listened to that one as much as Subnivium. I like Subnivium better. I will admit that.
Well, because it's Brad.
But it seems to me like I saw a lot of growth from that first album to Subnivium. Can you describe kind of the writing process and approach, and how did you approach that album?
Yeah, well, I think in general, Subnivium was much more of a collaborative exercise. A lot of all the songs on Nascent Realm were ones that our drummer Dan had been working on for a long time before any of us joined, and so. I only played some of the guitar parts on there. You did some of the, I think we had still some old keyboard parts in there, maybe.
Are you talking about Nascent Realm? Or
Yeah,
something?
on the first one.
Yeah, so a lot of Nascent Realm was like old material that we were trying to get across the finish line to have an album. And then so with Subnivium, it was a lot more collaborative where like our current lineup was working on it. When you joined on, you did a lot of your own guitar solos. And so I think that influenced a lot of the sound, and especially since all of us are coming in with different influences and backgrounds, I think that really got woven together to influence how Subnivium is.
That makes a lot of sense.
And on the production side, on the second album for Subnivium, we worked with Alex Power from Paladin.
Oh, very cool.
We discovered them at Mad with Power a few years ago, and then found out that he does production, and seemed like a perfect fit for the album, and we could not be more happy with how it turned out. He was a great fit for us.
Yeah, he did amazing.
And they are playing tomorrow here at Mad
That's
with Power
right.
Fest.
Yeah, very excited to see them.
Yes, I've never seen them before, so I'm quite excited to see them as well.
Oh, it's a treat.
So it's interesting to hear that story. I think you hear that story a lot. I don't know if you all know the band Professor Emeritus or not. I just interviewed them at Legions a month ago, and the story was very similar. Like, one guy kind of started the band, he had a bunch of material, he recruited some folks, it kind of came together, but then their latest album was more of a collaborative effort, and you can just hear the difference. You can hear all the different influences coming together. For sure.
Yeah.
So, talking about influences then, I know when I listen to the album, it's clearly a power metal album. You've got some of the symphonic influences, of course, but there's definitely an underlying kind of set of progressive influences as well, which I really like. Like, how did all that come together? Like, who would you say from each of you have some of the different influences?
Well, one of my biggest influences, well, we maybe talk about this if we get into the road, but I'm a big Meatloaf fan.
Okay.
I like a big long song with a weird structure, and so that's kind of a little bit of outside of the traditional metal sphere. I mean, I also like a lot of Iron Maiden and Blind Guardian and Halloween, Gamma Ray, stuff like that. But I also like things a little operatic in a very like 70s rock opera sort of way.
You do love Meatloaf.
But would you do anything for love?
I mean, there's lots of things. In fact, it's only a very small list of things I wouldn't do.
But definitely not those.
Not that.
Sorry, I'm a dad of 4 kids. I can't help myself.
And for me, I just wanted to make sure that I was contributing to the album. The songs were written before I came on board, and I was very happy to be able to contribute the solos that I was able to contribute to. So yeah, my background is a little more in the past, although huge Queensryche fan, Dream Theater, Symphony X, that kind of thing, and I just wanted to make sure that the songs were as best as they could possibly be on the album. Yeah.
And you definitely hear those influences. I think in my review of Subnivium, I called out Symphony X specifically.
Yeah.
I definitely hear the Symphony X influence in
Dan
several songs.
was very excited to see that because he's a big Symphony X fan.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's our drummer and our founder is super into them. Yeah. And then for me, I think Avantasia and Seventh Wonder are both really big influences for me. Lots of keyboard, lots of synth stuff. Trying to do keyboards in a way that I like and that are accenting the music and having a chance to be the lead and getting to interact with the guitars is all really exciting to me.
I didn't really even listen to power metal before I joined this band.
Really?
No. So my impression of power metal was that it was all like operatic vocals against rock, and it turns out I was like super wrong, and that there's so many like different types of bands within the power metal like subgenre. So I started to really just dive in and listen to a lot of different types of bands that had really strong vocals, especially female vocals, and kind of like get a feel for like how they like convey the story, and then I feel like my style just kind of developed from that. So
I have to ask, and I didn't prep you for this, I'm sorry, but who were like maybe some of your more formative bands that influenced you?
Oh, well, I am a huge fan of Brittany Slayes from Unleash the Archers.
I mean,
she is my like vocal idol. But even like, I grew up in the 90s, so there was a lot of like really just badass female like Courtney Love. I don't sing like her at all, but like just the like her and like Veruca Salt, and I love Blondie, and I love so many different like across the board just like awesome female vocalists that I've tried to kind of pick a little bit from everyone. A little bit of like, I love how they do this, so I just like practice and try to develop my own thing from that. So
very cool. Well, you mentioned Unleash the Archers.
Yes.
And I absolutely love.
Yes.
And they actually are in our backyard. I live in Seattle, so it's not too far away. Haven't seen them in a while. Saw them for their Phantom release show in Vancouver, which is amazing. But one corollary I actually made to UTA on the review is you do occasionally have some of the harsh vocals mixed in, which is something that UTA does very well. You see like Epica do that. There are several bands that do that with kind of the more like the primary female clean vocals and then the occasional male gruff vocals. What kind of inspired that with Queen of Dreams, and how do you choose when to do that?
I was not that good at actual singing, but I could impersonate an Uruk-hai okay, so it was a way to add a little bit of texture that we always didn't have. Lindsay didn't want to do any growling. So.
No, I remember, I can't recall what song it is off the top of my head, but when I first joined, there was a couple lyrics that I was like clearly not doing the growly bits, and Caleb was like, I think those are supposed to be growly bits, and I was like, I can't do growly bits, so he was like, I'll do them here, and then that's your job.
By the way, I'd like to point out that in this band, it's growly bits.
That's my technical term. That is my technical term. I wish I could do them. I think it's badass when people can. I'm just not able. So I've tried this hard, but that hard was enough to tell me that it's not meant for me.
I think a lot of our music is emphasizing contrast.
Yeah.
And so that, I think, was an incentive to include the growly bits.
Yes.
But I actually can't think of like a comprehensive approach to how we decided where to have it. I think it was
It's
more
really
just
kind of organic.
It was we
Yeah.
just intuited like this would be cool here.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And sometimes music is all about feel, right? And sometimes something feels right, sometimes it doesn't feel right. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Well, you kind of called it out earlier with the whole Meatloaf reference, but End of the Road. That's that epic last song on Subnivium, which I know, like, I tend to read a lot of other reviews when I'm, looking at, like, I like to do my own research as well, and there were some people who didn't know what to do with that song compared to the rest. I loved it. I thought it was kind of cool to see something just completely different, way more progressive. But I'm curious, it is extremely different. It's nothing, like, really you could take that off of the album and people might not miss it in a sense because it doesn't continue the other style as much, but you put it on and you're like, whoa, this is so different. I think it's a great song myself. Really enjoy it. But what inspired doing something so different on the album?
Sure. So it is kind of funny that you say it could be on a different album maybe because it was originally.
Interesting.
It was part of an EP that I wrote myself in college. I just decided I was going to compose an album for myself. And didn't really have any intention of anyone ever hearing it, just an exercise for me. I was adapting The Children of Hurin by J.R.R. Tolkien into a 4 or 5 song EP. And it was a fun thing to do on my own. Actually, it was a really important moment in my learning to write music because I had Allie teach me how drums are supposed to be composed for a rock song.
I forgot about that.
I was just programming the drums on my own, the drum machine. And so then, years and years later, I had a power metal band I was playing with, and I was like, if you guys want, I have some of this old material. It's kind of weird and long and complicated, but if you guys want to learn this 8.5-minute song that I've had sitting around in my head for years now, we could do it. And no one objected too strongly.
For me, it leans into something different, right? The song starts and it goes right into your clean vocals, or clean, rough vocals.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
I like that about this band.
Yeah.
When I joined this band, I was like, there is something everyone is contributing.
Yeah.
Like Sky, who's unfortunately not here today, her bass contributes something very different to this band.
Yeah.
And I like the way the band will lean into that.
Yeah.
Right, and not be like, well, we're going to kind of put that in the background. No, you're going to hear that. And the new material, you're going to hear us stretch our legs a little bit too. That kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, cool. Well, you're actually doing a great segue to my next question.
Hey,
New material.
Professionals.
Yeah, obviously, Subnivium came out, I believe it was January, maybe it was February of 2025, but it's been about a year and a half at this point.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know I'm eager to hear some new material from the band. What are your plans there? You obviously mentioned there's some new material. So now, like, what can you share? I guess is the question.
There's a lot of new material.
We have about 7 songs that are new that we're starting to work into our live performance sets. We have a handful more that we're still getting the structure finished and writing solos. So we are well on our way to enough material for our next album. Unfortunately, I don't think we have a specific timeline we can share with you today. But it is on the horizon, and something that we're really excited with to support that is this week we launched our Patreon, which we are very, very excited about, and see that as playing a really big role in being able to support that music and continuing to have professional quality mastering and mixing and getting to do what we did with Subnivium again, and hopefully ongoing into the future, because that is our priority as a band, is we want to make albums, and so it is our goal to continually be putting out new music.
Yeah, I feel like everybody, we'll be playing something for a little while, and then all of a sudden someone will be like, oh, by the way, I wrote this song. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're going to learn another one. Sounds good. So I think it's definitely important for us to be able to share the music with people. So.
It continues.
Yeah.
I can't give a timeline either, but, like I said before, the new music, it's recognizable as Queen of Dreams.
Yeah.
But there are points where we're going to stretch out a little bit and maybe throw a few curveballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't just want to copy paste the same song every time because we already did that song. So we're going to try to do variations on a theme. Yeah.
That's actually my preference. I love this band is recognizable release to release, but you're seeing yourselves kind of stretch in different places. Like occasionally it's okay to be comfortable here or there, but then you stretch in other ways, and that makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
Well, cool. Well, we'll do two final questions. First is, since we've been on the topic of Subnivium so much, what's each of your favorite song from Subnivium and why?
I'll start us off, Call to Shadow.
Okay.
I love Call to Shadow because I love the solo section and the way we were able to put that together.
Yeah, there's a whole
yeah.
harmonized solo
There's a harmonized
that was something
section.
you brought.
Yeah, well, there's a keyboard solo, a couple of trading solos
Yep.
harmonized. I really like that section of the song quite a bit. I thought it turned out really well.
Cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's hard to pick just one, but for today, I'll talk about The Shape of Our Lives. I am a sucker for a good kind of 6/8 ballad feeling song, but then I also am really proud of the piano parts that are in the verse in that song, and that are kind of a lighter, flowier, more classical style piano that is still intermixed with what is metal. And so I also like in Beneath the Ice and Snow when we feature the piano separately and everything kind of cuts out.
Yeah,
But
I love that too.
I get really excited about getting to weave piano in instead of having to just have all or nothing. So I'm really, really pleased with how The Shape of Our Lives came out for that.
Just before, I
Yeah.
just want to comment on that.
Yeah.
One thing I do love, it's one of my pet peeves sometimes with the more like symphonic metal genres is that either it'll only be a bunch of keyboards and then the guitars play second fiddle, or it's the other way. Oh well, we have to use a piano here, so we're going to do it. And you're like, well, that didn't feel very cohesive. I love it when the music flows more naturally, more organically, and things kind of flow in and out. One of the bands, since we're here at Now with Power, one of the bands that's playing today, Okay Goodnight, I think does an exceptional job of that. They're obviously not as heavy. They're not a power metal band. They kind of they're all over the place from art and alternative rock all the way to metal. Very proggy though, but they do an exceptional job. Kind of the piano's there, and then the bass is there, and here comes in a saxophone, and here's the guitar, and but it all makes sense.
You're really
So-
feeding off each
Exactly.
other versus just isolating.
100%.
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100%. And I think you guys did a really good job of that on the album.
Thank you.
Right, sorry, now you can.
Well, I have two favorite songs equally. I love Shield Anvil. I love the chorus. Like, for me, it just feels like an emotion that I'm sharing. And then I love Untethered because it's just so much fun and fast. And they're all like, hold on, I gotta concentrate on what I'm doing. And I'm like, and I'm just gonna make crazy faces. So I love both of those equally.
Both great songs.
Yeah.
I think the one that's most fun to play is Radiant, the
opening
first song.
track, yes.
Yeah, and it's always fun. It's very fast right out the gate. It's got a lot of good energy. I think to wherever we slot it into the set, it's always a fun. I know it's hard to sing in some parts.
It's my least favorite song.
Really?
Yeah, just because it's hard for me. I love the song itself, but it's on the harder end for me to sing.
It's so catchy.
It is
The
really catchy.
the melody has got
That's
such a great
why they
hook.
always want to add it
Yeah.
in. And I'm always like, ooh. But I relent and I'm glad that I did. So.
Well, cool. I appreciate all the insight.
Yeah.
One final question. This is not an official Mad with Power interview, but what's interesting is that one of my previous Mad with Power interviews influenced something, so I have to bring it up. I'd feel dumb if I didn't bring it up at this point. So if you haven't watched the interview I did with Lords of the Trident about a month ago now, one of the last questions I asked them about was Dance of Control, which is my favorite song by them, and I get to hear it live. And going to hear it live at Mad with Power, which they kind of leaked during that interview, which I'm super excited by. Well, it turns out you actually played the harpsichord parts for a one-off show. I don't know when it was. But
It was almost exactly 3 years ago.
Okay.
I got a Facebook memory that popped up this week. Yes.
So you played this, and so Brian Koenig actually mentioned this during the interview. I was like, oh, how cool is that? And so when I was publishing the interview, I actually messaged the band and said, hey, you guys got a call out in my interview. You should go check it out. Well, apparently what happened behind the scenes, unbeknownst to me until today, and then I'll pass it over. I'll let you all tell the story.
Well, I saw that interview and I was like, they're going to be playing Dance of Control. Maybe I could reach out to Brian and see if they would want live accompaniment at Mad with Power. Just expecting that they might say no. It's like, it's a big show. It's the Sylvie, whatever. Brian was like, oh, I like the idea. I'll get back to you. And the next morning he was like, where to go? And that was that. And I was like, oh no, now I'm So I have been working very hard over the last few weeks to make sure I'm ready. Got to practice with Lords, and that was a lot of fun. They're great guys.
Yes, they are.
So I am really, really excited for this, and hopefully it goes really well.
I'm excited for it too, and I'd be lying if I said it doesn't make me really happy that I actually influenced this. So that's actually really cool.
Bragging rights.
So you heard it here. She's going to be playing with Lords tomorrow on Dance of Control.
That'll be great.
All right. Any final comments from you all before we close out?
Just thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for taking an interest in the music. And,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, check us out.
Yes, please
Queen
do.
of Dreams.
Yeah, support us on Patreon.
Patreon.
Yes.
Come see a show sometime.
Yes.
Just listen to the music.
If you like to read epic fantasy books, we're doing a book club in our Patreon
Oh,
with
very
the sources
cool.
of inspiration for our music. So
Yeah.
that's going to be super fun.
Yeah, come nerd out with us.
All right. Well, thank you all so much, and everybody,
Thank you.
let's
Thank
stay
you.
metal.
Stay metal.
To bring you a live version of this, we have the key harpsichord. This one is called Dance of Control.